All right, welcome everybody to No Huddle Football News. As you know, this is Ray, and I have a guest on my show, and she is a multi-talented person because she is into podcasting, modeling, and she is a USC Trojan. So let's play a little music for her here. I'm sorry that y'all had a big defeat in Notre Dame.
No, boo. Fight on, fight on.
All right. So we're going to get into a few topics here. We'll basically start out as we always do on my channel here. Please introduce yourself with your name and some things that you are do that you get into, things that you love, things that you hate. Just introduce yourself to us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Reynard, for having me on your show today. It's a pleasure to be here. So, hi, everyone. My name is Victoria. I'm 26. I'm based out of Plano, Texas, which is in the Dallas Fort Worth, Texas area. And I have my own podcast. It's called the Feel Your Feelings podcast, and it's meant to bridge the gap between my generation, Gen Z, and mental health, because I think mental health is one of the biggest issues that is impacting us today, because we have so much going on in the world. But for fun, I like to watch reality TV shows like Netflix.
Mm,
I'm a sports fan,
mm,
so I'll watch football occasionally, basketball. I would love to go to the Super Bowl next year. I'm manifesting it, so don't judge me.
okay.
I would love to
No, no.
usher at the Super Bowl, so I'm applying to so many different giveaways. So, and I'm also like a astronomy nerd. So the solar eclipse happened
Mm,
yesterday or a few days ago on
mhm.
October 14th. So I absolutely love keeping up with what's happening.
Wow. Well, you got a lot on your plate there. You have a lot of interest, and I think this you'll be definitely valuable, person when you start really podcasting. Everybody gets to know you or whatever else about what you got going on. So I want to give you a couple things here, and I want your feedback.
Okay.
Podcasting.
Yeah.
How did that start for you?
Okay. So how my podcast first began, I was in graduate school at the George Washington University, which is in Washington, D.C. So I was out there from 2019 up until April of 2020. And the pandemic hit, of course. So we all had to move back home. They basically kicked us off campus because, like, y'all have to leave. We don't want anybody to get sick. But before that, I knew that as a grad student, I had to start working on or coming up with an ideas for my capstone project. And as a grad student, you can either do like a thesis or a research paper or like a media project. Me personally, like I like writing, but not to that extent to like write 80 pages for a thesis. So I was like, I kind of want to do something practical that's gonna like live on and that's gonna be like bigger than me and that can continue expanding and growing, that I can continue working on even after I graduate. So I thought about doing a podcast, and my advisors at the time told me, like, hey, it doesn't just have to be about what you're studying, which is like media and strategic communication, political communication. It could be about whatever you want. And so the first thing that hit me was like, well, mental health, duh. Like we're
Mhm.
all going through something that we're all going through something that nobody knows about in some way, shape, or capacity. Like everybody's got something going on. Um, so that's how I decided to start my podcast. I came up with my name, Feel Your Feelings, which I thought was kind of corny at first, but I was like, hey, I think it's cool. And I put the Z in there instead of like an S for the feelings because I thought of Tupac's album, All Eyes on Me, for some reason.
Oh,
I like
oh,
the Z
okay.
that he had. And I was like, that
Mhm.
was kind of cool. So let me do something like trendy like that. And I officially launched it when I graduated. I did a little presentation on Zoom to my committee, which was two people,
Mhm.
and they loved it. And they basically just told me at the end, like, Victoria, just take this and fly with it. Keep going, keep applying yourself to it. And so I would say 2021 was my catalyst year for starting my podcast.
Okay. Well, I like that. I like how you kind of just went out and grabbed it because I actually had some people I've talked to, some young ladies, and they're into podcasts for a sort, but they kind of like, I don't know if I want to do a sports podcast. I'm a lady. I never played football, and
Yeah.
hey, I said, I'm gonna give you some examples, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring ladies that are doing things online, not just in football, baseball, basketball, and it's starting from their apartment. It's starting from their, home. They're on their phones, and you're on your phone anyway. You can start a podcast. If you got something interesting to say, you can definitely do that. So that's kind of my thing where I want to introduce also ladies that's also wanting to do things like yourself, starting out from scratch
Yeah.
and creating a podcast or YouTube channel or TikTok or whatever online in your home. So I want you to be an inspiration and add on to a woman's legacy online, not just in sports and anything else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My first big inspirations were people in sports, Venus and Serena Williams. I
Mm,
listened to them when I was a kid because I played tennis when I was a little kid. Um, in high school, I picked up my racket again at 15. So
mm,
it didn't really last that long. I wasn't that good, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's where that sports connection kind of sticks with. But imagine if TikTok and Instagram had been around back then, that would have been a game changer. So
right, absolutely.
yeah.
Second question for you. Who do you follow online that's doing, like podcasts and you like, I like her. She's really interesting. Or this guy's pretty cool. He has an interesting channel. I like to listen and hear what he has to say. So can you give me a couple people that you possibly that you follow?
Absolutely. I was actually listening to a podcast this morning on Spotify because usually I get up, I'll make up my bed, clean my room, and then I'll put on like music or find a podcast on Spotify. So I found one today called the Balanced Black Girl or
Mm,
Balanced Black Girl podcast. It was
mm,
my first time listening to her, but I really liked her episode. I've also been listening to someone named Cleo Massey. She's based out of Australia, and her podcast is called Pass Around the Smile. And what's
oh, I like that.
interesting about that is that she was an actress on the show called H2O, Just Add Water, like about mermaids and stuff.
Hmm.
That my sister and I used to watch on Nickelodeon, and I had reached out to her, I think 2 years ago, last year, something like that, to be on my blog. So I had a blog called As Told by Victoria, right? And this
Okay.
was around the same time I was like figuring out what I wanted to do with my podcast. I had a blog as well, but I was like interviewing people and interviewing influencers. And she was one of the people that I reached out to, and she said yeah. And so she was on my blog for a minute, but I lost all of my content on there because I didn't back up my website. So can't access it right now, but I did get
Oh,
to chat with her. But I love
okay.
her podcast. I love her podcast as well. I think there's some guys that I listen to as well. Hindsight. It's called In Hindsight or Hindsight. HINDZ site. And he's a creator from Vancouver, Canada, I believe. And something about his voice is so soothing. Like he'll have some tea with him and he'll just
Hmm.
talking, sipping tea. And what's his key phrase? Like ja. So he says ja a lot. um,
Okay.
love like the Rasta vibes that he gives, and it's just very timely information. Kind of feels like a big brother talking to me. So love that podcast as well. But I'm definitely trying to search for new podcasts to listen to. So I'm always open to be like who do you think I should listen to? Like I don't have like a real preference. I do say I listen to a lot of motivational podcasts,
Hmm.
um, health and wellness, and like spirituality podcasts. So
Okay.
yeah, those would probably be my biggest preferences. Yeah.
Well, my journey was a little different. I'm gonna speak about myself a little bit. It
Yeah.
was more so listening to audiobooks. And
Okay.
that's how I decided I was gonna try to create a channel because I heard I listened to like John Grisham, but I also listened to some people that was actually reading their own audiobooks, like small independent people. And I said, My wife acts, I write. I'm gonna try to create something based off that. And then I said, I'm gonna do more journalism based on football. And then I'm gonna establish two things together and create a channel. So that's kind of how I got wrapped up in this crazy world of the internet. Um, Now I got a question for you here, internet wise. Have you ever got caught up into, like, there's drama on the internet as well, like
Yeah.
following somebody and then they're kind of beefing or they're kind of going at another podcast. I just want you to tell people about the warnings, give people warning signs of maybe a podcast that may not be for you or a YouTube channel that may not be for you. Can you kind of tell people about that experience maybe that you had or maybe you haven't had?
Mm. I don't think I've had that. Maybe I have. I don't know. I'm thinking in general, are you saying
Mhm.
like podcasts to like, or how do you know what to listen to, what not listen to, what to not listen to?
Well, basically, like sometimes people get caught up into the wrong podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So they go there for one reason, it's kind of clickbait, and then it turns out to be not what they expect. So I don't want to put a podcast on example,
Yeah, yeah,
out there, but I'm gonna give you an example.
yeah.
So let's say you go and there's a podcast at USC where someone's talking about drug use. This is how to use certain drugs for health benefits, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
So you're like, okay, this is interesting. I want to kind of look into this. But then, they have chat rooms, they have certain things, and then it ends up turning into something else. Like they're actually dealing drugs. This is just an example. This is not a true story. But they're doing some things that you didn't expect. I ran into different things based on crime, or I did run into a different type of drug use thing. It was like a not marijuana, but the medical painkillers.
Yeah. I was in CBD.
Right. They have all type of things that you can get caught up into as well. So I want to make people, know aware of,
Yeah.
kind of the traps, the lures that people can get you in to watch their thing, to create clickbait, to get subscribers. So but you're good. If you hadn't seen any of that, I know I have.
I would say absolutely. Like I know that stuff is out there. I think everyone has to use their own discernment though for
Mm,
what they want to consume and like how to filter through it. Cuz like as a I'm a young person. I have a phone. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, like all those social media platforms. But it's my job to filter out like, do I still want to keep on listening or keep on watching? So I did come across a YouTube channel, and I liked her video. I won't call her out or anything, but I liked the video that I clicked on and whatnot. But then like as I watched some of her other videos, I just kind of got like turned off to what she was.
mm,
For some reason, it just didn't click anymore. And I'm just like, something about her, like nothing about her personally. It's just something about what she's saying doesn't really sit right with me. So I'm gonna unsubscribe right now.
right.
That's just how I felt. And that's why we have tools like blocking. You can block a person. You don't have to stay subscribed to anyone just because you're subscribed to them now. Like they don't know you. You're not like obligated to do anything for anyone. So um yeah, I would just say utilize your rights.
Right, because I know that one thing that attracted me to you when you talk about mental health and protecting it, and you kind of I feel like you're really genuine into that because in today's age, a lot more people, including myself, have gone to the internet. When we was here on isolation because of COVID, we couldn't go most places, so we was like, I was really looking into inspirational, motivational things.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
then sometimes you can get lured into the wrong thing, especially when we was on quarantine for 18 a year or two. And sometimes it affects people's mental health. And I'm glad that you are here and addressing those things and helping people as well. So that's
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. And like I try my best. I'm not a perfect person, but I try to be as authentic as possible and learn from what I see, like learn what to do and what not to do. I think a good example, and I guess we can call him out, is like Kanye West, maybe, because like
Mm,
he's been on, he was on that podcast. I don't know, the drinking, they do drinking and stuff like that. And he said something. He said a lot, but
yeah.
people are like, no, I don't like Kanye anymore. That's fine. You don't have to like him. Like he's gonna be all right regardless. So I kind of take the same approach. It's like if you don't like me, you don't vibe with what I'm saying in any way, shape, or form, that's okay. Like I'm still gonna be learning and growing and I'm gonna be all right.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So let's get back into your podcast here. So let's say a young lady is looking for something and she wants to basically find someone brand new. And
Yeah.
let's say she lands on your site. What should she expect when she sees one of your videos?
Hmm. I absolutely love that question. So first and foremost, I'm grateful that a young person or young lady or kid wants to listen to me and like hear what I have to say for any amount of time. Thank you. I would hope that like what I hope they would get from me or my podcast episodes.
Either or.
I hope they would get a sense of like it's okay to be yourself and dream and like if you see some like I'm I still live at home, right? So I don't have a
Mhm.
fancy studio or anything. Um this is my room. I'm literally sitting in front of my closet right now. So I just hope to present the most authentic version of myself to people. I can't put any thoughts in their heads and be like this. And I was kind of talking to my sister about this morning is like we're talking about like caring about what people think. Like do you
Mm,
ever want to know like what people think of you? And I was like, uh not really. I'm good. Like if you like me, that's cool because enough people. There's enough hate and whatnot out there. But I hope they would see a continued like every episode that I continue to get better and better. Like oh, I know she was kind of nervous in that first one, but like she got better. She got more confident. That interview was good. The next one was good. That it just keeps getting better and better. And I think that's something that I'm kind of like expecting for myself too, is like to just keep getting better and better and better. So
okay.
I'm a work in progress.
Work in progress. We all are, because you
Yeah.
know that anytime you're doing something new, but you're doing it from your heart,
Yeah.
you can get a little nervous, but you know you're doing the right thing.
Right.
I can tell you feel like you're doing the right thing for your life.
Absolutely.
Me too. So that's why I'm like, I don't have a problem with, you saying, oh, I actually want to do an interview with you, but I may have to do it on a certain time. I was like, okay, this is something I would like to do because I'm going to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you're making it work with your time schedule, because someone might be, oh, I only can do it on certain days. You'd be like, okay, let me see if I can make that work. So
Mm-hmm.
you're doing the right thing. You keep doing what you do
Mm-hmm.
always and come from the heart. And when it comes from the heart, it's always going to work out in some way, some shape, or some fashion.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mhm. All right, I got another question here that's going to lead into my new channel here.
Okay.
So, modeling, how did that come up with you? And what are you looking to do with the modeling that you're getting ready to do?
Yes, absolutely. So when I was a kid, I love watching like TV shows and movies and whatnot. My mom what did modeling back in the day. She was
Mm,
actually an extra. She did some acting. She was an extra in the show called Dallas. Do you remember that show?
I do.
She was like
I
an
do.
extra or something. She showed us the
Mhm.
scene where she was like behind the ambulance or something just looking. Anyways, that whole like world interested me, like entertainment, movies, TV. So I was like, it was always in the back of my head, like, how do I get to be like on the TV too, or like on a poster, on a billboard? So I had like these three career goals in like high school: either be an actress, an author, or an athlete. Because I thought my skill set fit any one of those three categories. So this past year in July of 2022. So like you said, during the pandemic, we were sitting at home, we were on lockdown. Like obviously I'm watching a lot of TV, I'm watching a lot of commercials. And my dad one day randomly was like, you could be on one of those commercials because we see like the Ozempic commercials and people
Hmm.
just dancing and whatnot. He's like, you could do one of those. So I like went on Google and I was looking up like Dallas commercial casting calls or something. And I put my information into this one website. I made sure it was legit because
Hmm.
sometimes there's scams out there. There are
Right.
scammers out there. So you make sure that, you know, if you go to a website that it has the lock on there next to the HTTPS, that means it's secure. So you don't just
Yeah.
put all your information out there. And I put my mom's phone number in so they wouldn't like reach out to me. So anyway, she gets this text message and she's like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, like this modeling recruiter reached out to me and saying that they want to have you on for like a group interview." And so from John Casablancas, that's the name of the agency. So I did the group interview, and basically they give you like a rating, like an A, B, or C. A is like, yeah, you're ready for this. B is like, you have potential. And C is like, nah, this is not for you. Sorry. Next. So they
Okay.
basically asked me like, hey, what are your career goals? Like, why you want to model? Like, what do you like fashion? Do you like current events? Like you watch TV? What? And so I was just like real. I was like, yeah, I like TV. Like I always liked this as a kid. Like I think I have something to show you guys. Like, yeah, so I got a B. So I mean I have potential. I think the
Uh-huh.
holdback for me was like the financial aspect because there I did have to pay like a down payment and then for the classes, the class commitment
Uh-huh.
is was 30 weeks. And every class, you got to pay for every single class. So I got set up on a payment plan
Uh-huh.
and I did that for 30 weeks. So every Tuesday, I would take a class. So it would be like runway, it would be virtual. So I'd just be in my room. How to pose, like how to read a monologue, different things like that. So I did that for 30 weeks and I graduated on February 14th
Okay.
of this year on Valentine's Day. So it was a cute little ceremony. And the funny thing is, I was the only person that attended my graduation. I was the only
Wow.
person on the call out of like all the people in my class who were
Hmm.
fantastic people. But I was the only person on that call. And I was just like, dang, it's really just me versus me.
Right. Well, that makes you stand out too, though.
I mean, yeah, even the coach was like, it's just you? It was like, yeah, it's just me, my parents, and my sister. And they came and we had a little cute little ceremony send off. He's like, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You can, keep your day job. Like, not don't lose your day job. Keep working. But just keep this in the back of your mind to just keep doing auditions. So as of right now, I'm signed with an agency and I get emails for their auditioning links. So I was gonna do like an audition today. It could be a voiceover or for like a national commercial or whatever. So my dream goal would definitely to be in a Super Bowl commercial, either as
Oh,
an extra or like running through the screen or something, something.
right.
But I would love to do that. And I have not booked any auditions yet.
Okay.
So I was looking at other agencies and I found one called Muse Management and they're a modeling agency and they have a branch here in Dallas. So I recently sent some like material to them and I got signed with them. But my thing now is to rebuild my portfolio, which basically means taking more pictures.
Okay.
Because my pictures are technically outdated. They're from 2022. So
Hmm.
making them current again and taking fresh digitals and then we start booking some work. So that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, perfect. And I tell you this, I got some. After we get off the interview here, I got some information. Of course, my wife, she's into that as well. There's I got a friend named Anthony. He's into the audio world, and me and him are collaborating, and we're gonna get my wife and then a couple other people. I think you'll be perfect for what we're gonna do on the audio side
Yeah.
and it will lead into acting as well. Audio books, anything that you're doing acting wise, that like if you're sitting on in front of your phone reading out a script, perfect because they want to see you physically and also emotionally and how you're able to transfer the word and make it believable. So I tell you, we're gonna talk after this as well. I'll give
Absolutely.
you some good information.
Absolutely. I welcome that. And another note that I just want to add onto that is that leaning into acting and the modeling has really helped me with my podcast skills as well, because
Hmm.
in acting you have to learn how to like tap into your emotions, learn how to
Yeah.
speak to a camera and get comfortable with being in front of a camera, not just behind the scenes, but like being in front, how to like present yourself on camera, how to speak, like how to look and
Hmm.
act. So I think it's helped me get more comfortable with myself and like my voice and like just
Hmm.
being in my own skin basically.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Got another question here. Do you sing?
I do not sing.
Oh.
I I hum. I hum to songs
Yeah.
like I can carry a tune, but
Okay.
we're not a
Okay.
Jennifer Hudson over here.
Well, just because I know that's also a thing, another marketing piece you can do for your acting and modeling is singing, because
Right.
you can do things short online that can get you, people interested, in those things.
Yeah, I can carry a melody,
Hmm.
but singing, it's not. I do love music though. Like I really do love music. Like if I was not a podcast host, I would definitely want to try to get into DJing or something because I do love music. Yeah.
Oh, DJing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I know a little bit about that. And then there's a young lady on Instagram I follow. She's out in LA too. You need to follow her. I
Okay.
can't remember her name right now. I think it's J Nicole, something like that. But I'll
Okay.
send you that link as well.
Please do.
Okay. Yeah, you do a lot of stuff. That's really good. Well, here's the thing about my channel here. This based on characters. I'm creating a YouTube channel based on characters that people love. Fictional and non-fictional. Of course, on the fictional side, I want to ask my guests, and this is kind of our hook: is what's a character that you love from any movie, and one character that you love from any TV show? So, can you answer those questions for me?
In short,
Sure. Hmm.
okay, so you said
Well, take your time. However you want to answer it.
a character that I love from a TV show
Hmm.
and from a movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
From a TV show, I'm thinking of Arthur, which was on PBS,
Hmm.
the children's show. So
Hmm.
Arthur had a little sister named DW, and she was like feisty and loud, and she didn't take crap. So I would say DW,
Hmm.
because I'm a younger sister as well. I don't have
Okay.
brothers or anything. It's just me and my sister. But I
Okay.
would say DW. From a movie, and by the way, this isn't just animated characters, right? It's like,
Any character. Hmm.
ooh, hmm. There's a okay. Well, it's a TV show. It's not a
Yeah.
movie. Um,
Okay, that's fine.
there's a TV show called Dynasty on Netflix, and one of the characters' name, she's a lead character, Fallon Carrington. So her and
Okay.
she's played the actress who plays Fallon is Elizabeth Gillies or Liz Gillies.
Uh-huh.
Um, so anyway, she's like this boss heiress, right? Her dad is a millionaire and whatnot. So she's next in line for like the Carrington business dynasty. And she's super bougie and like
Hmm.
dresses well and whatnot. But the way she carries herself in terms of like dealing with people and her relationships with guys and just as a woman, I think I felt was very like really bad. So I
Okay.
really liked her character. I'm thinking of a movie. I want to give you a movie character. Mm, I love the Lion. Anything Disney, really.
Okay.
But the Lion King was also one of my favorite movies as a kid. So I would say like, um, have you seen the Lion King 2, Simba's Pride?
I only seen the first one, and I've seen that movie probably 120
Uh,
times. Raising my niece, she's watched it every day, over and over and over. So
y'all have to see the second one. You like
okay.
you haven't gotten the everything until you see the second movie. So Simba has a daughter named Kiara. So I would say Kiara is my girl. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, nice. Because you know, during the pandemic, we took on a show called Outer Banks. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it on Netflix, right?
Right.
I've heard of it.
So me and my wife, she was very like, this show is great. We got the information from a coworker of my wife's, and we watched it and found out. Well, I think one of the actors is from Nashville, Jonathan Davis, and but she was just in love with the characters there. So
Mhm.
it was just like John B. If you all know if you ever watched the show, him and his friend, and I can't think of his friend's name now, but the character named John B. The story is based around him and his father's disappearance and them looking for this mystery treasure. But it's like how they created the characters. They lumped in everybody's personality and then they connect the background. And from the background, they connect them to the treasure. So you had it divided between two. The Pogues, I think, were the outskirt kids. They wasn't, from an affluent family. And then you had and I can't think of the other group, but they were the ones on the other side of the tracks. They had all the money. They were famous, and they were, the affluent people there. And they went to kind of like the same school, and it was like the division made the show because when one person crossed over, started liking someone from the other side, it created this drama.
Mhm.
So the Outer Banks and the John B character was one that I really kind of was drawn into myself. So,
Okay.
you know, because here's the thing, that the reason why I created this show, because I feel like everybody's a character in their own
Mhm.
life. But then we have certain things that we see. Like
Mhm.
if it's not me, I see on the screen a little bit. It's like I do a little bit of this.
Mhm.
It may be my wife, or it may be my friend. It might be whatever. And then definitely coworkers, because working in in corporate America, I'm gonna tell you this:
Yeah.
working in corporate America, you will see all types of things. Like I will come in there and I was think, oh well, having a good day. I put my notepad down and I get my pens out and getting ready to log into my computer. And then you'll just see this one girl here. She won't fit the dress code today, and she'll sit back there, lean back in her seat, and kick her feet up. I'm like, where they do this at?
Real.
I'm
It's real.
like,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah. So you get that type of character, and then you get the character that's always about the work. They're super early and they're typing away. They're just going there. They're guzzling coffee. They're going there. They're not talking to anybody until they're done with their first 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And then when they break, they break. They're gone for 30, 45 minutes. I'm like, what happened to you? We got to get a proposal going here. And then it's things like that. And then I don't know if you speak another language,
No.
but
No.
you don't.
No.
Okay. So
I wish I
then,
did though. I wish I did though. I want to learn Spanish. But
well,
what?
no, because see, me, I'm learning Spanish on the go because we have a lot of, people from different countries,
Yeah.
obviously the Latin countries, and they
Mhm.
speak Spanish, and then they speak different Spanish too. Puerto Rico is different from Mexico, different from Guatemala. It sounds a little different.
The
It is
dialect.
the
Yeah,
dialogue.
I
So
see.
those are characters too. So like this show I'm creating here, I want people to love the characters that they love. I want people to talk about them. I just want people to see, like, do you see anything in a character that you've seen on screen in yourself? So I'm trying to create a really fun show in that way. So again, yeah.
That's really cool. My first question for you was if you watch like corporate America TikTok videos and reels, because there is so many funny reels about people that are like working in corporate America and they make these different like skits and stuff, like getting in your car after a long day of work and then you say bye to your coworker and then like afterwards you just like and then you can like take your hair off. You can, like there's some
Okay.
funny videos out there.
No, I never did see that. But I will. I will definitely check that
I'm
out.
gonna send you some. I'm gonna send you some funny corporate TikToks.
Please do. Please do.
But yeah, I love that idea of like having people talk about who their favorite characters are, because as like I think deep down we're all like kind of mimicking
Hmm.
somebody or some character. Like I'm a movie person. There's some movies that I still like. I randomly think of like a line in the movie. There's
Hmm.
this movie called It Takes Two by Mary Kate and Ashley. You remember when they used to do movies when they were kids?
I do. I really do. Yes.
And I think it was Mary Kate or whatever in like in that movie, and like it was so cute. She was like in this little dress, right? Because she was a little street kid, and
Hmm.
then she was trying to pretend to be like this little refined little child, and she walked into the party. She was like, "Hello, good evening," and it was so cute. And like literally every time I'm like logging into my online classes or whatever, and if I say good evening, like hello, good evening, I literally think of that. I'm like, that sticks. Like these characters stick. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, just by creating these channels, I think we got a lot in common because we're
absolutely,
trying to do things online. And I'm just glad that you were able to at least, talk to me today about you because there's things I didn't know. First thing, I thought you were a California kid and I thought
no,
you were
at
still in school on campus. And I thought that you were starting a YouTube channel, but you've been doing this a lot longer. I didn't know all this. Like this is easy to you.
I think
Like,
for me, I don't always like I think that's a thing that I get from people that are like, "Oh, I didn't know that you did that." Like I didn't know like what? I'm just like maybe I assume that people just know.
well,
But I'm also like learning to hype myself up. Like it's okay to like, put myself out there in a good way and like show people what I'm working on.
mhm.
I think a lot of times with my generation, even like for my parents, sometimes they'll tell me like, don't do too much. You don't want to put too much out there. You want them to see too much of what you're doing. Maybe like out of a safety guise or something, which I completely understand. But at the same time, it's like if you got it, flaunt it. Like you're this is your creation. So allow people to see what you have going on and just let go and let God take it from there. Because I think for me, I get in my head a lot. And I'll be like, well, what if people don't like it? What if they don't vibe with it? What if they like come for me or something? But this is the virtual world we're living in. And like, if I'm not putting myself out here, there's someone out there that may not know who I am or what I'm doing had I not done this particular episode or even talking to you. I wouldn't have known you. So
Well, I'm so glad that I got a chance to really talk to you, and
me
I
too.
would definitely want to bring you on for a part two. I want to be a guest on your show. Please book me on your show.
Absolutely.
I want to give a good perspective. I mean, I got a birthday coming up. I got a lot going on, and
Oh, like Thanksgiving or
uh,
November?
28th of October.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's next week.
I
That's next
know.
week, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Happy early
my
birthday.
wife. Oh, thank you. My wife's been kind of sitting around here, sneaking around, and don't go in there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this here? Uh, then she talks about a restaurant and just different things. So
Right.
we're just trying to enjoy ourselves.
Absolutely.
I'm just appreciate I got somebody that that care about me, and I'm glad I got an audience that definitely listen to me, and your audience is gonna blow up. You keep going where you're going, you're gonna blow up just like I want to blow up. So I think you have a lot to give people, and I do got a message for some of my writing friends.
Absolutely.
Okay, see, I'm realistic, so you see me. I'm about to grab my phone.
Keep it
Come
real.
on, I'm about to grab my phone. I got a lot of writing friends
Yeah.
that are just stiff right in front of the computer.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got to start showing people realistic things, realistic views. Talk
Yeah.
to different people when
Yeah.
we come out our shell writing. Because I got a novel coming out. I got short story a short story collection coming out called Armor, and
Okay.
it's based on four different short stories of people I know experiences. This is another reason why I created this, the based on characters because I have characters now. These people are real here, so I have
Mhm.
to be careful on what I'm writing. But it's just something that I always wanted to do, and I'm gonna continue to do that. I'm a book reader. I'm definitely a writer. I guess I'm a podcaster now. Former football player, and
That's
I'm just me. So
that's versatility. And literally going back to, like, I was thinking of that this morning because I was listening to that podcast called Balanced Black Girl, and she was
mm,
interviewing someone named I forgot her name. I forgot her name, but the lady was like a podcast host, a media personality,
hmm
an author, uh, a model. I don't know. She was like all these things, and I was like, I kind of want to do that too. Like, not
right.
just be one thing. I want to be versatile as well.
hmm Okay.
So that's a
So
good thing.
get to see my house and the stuff I got going on here. I don't have like the perfect setup. I don't do like the backgrounds too much. I just kind of do my own thing.
I like the orange walls. My alma mater, Sam Houston State in Huntsville.
Yes.
Go Bearcats! But the
Okay.
colors are orange and blue.
hmm
Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
yep,
And
yep.
one day I'm gonna hope by next year maybe we might be moving. So I plan on having my own office or whatever.
Yeah.
This is kind of like my wife's room here, and you see she's a Delta. Shout out to all the Delta Sigma out there. Shout
My mom,
out to all of them.
oh, my mom is an AKA, so
Oh Lord, no, okay, no. My wife's best friend's a AK, so it doesn't matter. So that's
right.
not a
Yeah,
big deal.
good.
It's
It's
yeah,
all love. It's all love.
it's all good. And let's see here. Um, my Titan jacket that I designed. I'm a
Oh,
Tennessee Titan fan. They did lose in London, but I did design that.
is
So
that
if you
a
can see,
football team?
yeah, in Tennessee NFL team.
I've never heard of the Tennessee Titans. Sorry.
I'm gonna put you on my show. But you want to join my show? I have Tennessee Titans. I got a Facebook page called for Titans only. You
I mean, they don't.
don't even know we have a football team. Okay, all my for Titan only fans here, all my followers. We have a young lady out in the Dallas area. I know you're in cowboy country, but she
Yeah.
just did not know that we had a football team here. I'm sorry, I put you on blast. I sorry.
Sorry. Like, I mean, I was on Mr. Chris Palme show. Hey, Mr. Chris, shout out, shout out. But
Shout out to Chris.
yes, he asked me about football out here, the Dallas Cowboys and everything, and I was kind of a little nervous because I was like, I don't really know too much. I don't know too much. But I mean, I was kind of like trying to defend our quarterback, Dak Prescott. 'Cause he got booed at the Super Bowl this year for being awarded the Walter Payton Award, which I thought was really awesome. But I thought it was really disrespectful to boo him, even though most of the fans were probably like obviously not Cowboy fans. But
Right.
yeah, this is Cowboy Nation. I'm not like the biggest Cowboys fan, but by default, obviously, like living out here, you see it. But he's doing a lot of work, I think, for mental health as well. He had a family member that committed suicide or
He
died
did.
by suicide.
He did. Hmm
I don't know who it was, I forgot, but he does have a foundation and he's doing work. And so that's some research that I've been trying to get into to see, like, oh, well, how can I get involved, because I'm close by all that action out there. So I respect him, so I think other people should, put some respect on his name too.
They should because I understand. See, Dallas Cowboy. I've been to Arlington, Texas. I've been by the stadium and I've been to what's it called, Texas Live, and um, I guess it's called Texas Live. The big thing out in Arlington next to the stadiums out there, the baseball and football, and the Dallas Cowboy fans. Well, shout out to all my Dallas Cowboy fans here in the area, but y'all can be obnoxious sometimes. Y'all getting your
Of
feelings too
course.
much.
Prime.
They really, but it's fun with the. I'm just saying, we got some. Okay. I'm gonna call out some more people too here while I'm here. You got a second here?
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm calling out all my flip flop fans, these Tennessee Titan fans, that when the Cowboys came here last year, they start putting on their old Cowboys, their Aikman, Emmitt Smith jerseys, and coming to the stadium down here. And I know who you are because you're on my channel. You're on Tighten Up. Y'all on Forever Titans. Y'all on what's some of the other ones on there? It's a bunch of them, and they put on their stuff, and I'm like, I saw one of them walking to the game. I'm like, hey, where's your Titan stuff at? He looked at me and turned his head. I'm like, we ain't doing the flip flopping. When your other favorite team comes in, you're gonna put your stuff on. So it's just funny here. It's just funny how.
Likewise, that's like going. There's a place called the Star in Frisco, and if you ever come to Frisco, check out the Star. You will love it. It's where the training Cowboys Dallas Cowboys training camp is. So they have like a mini stadium out there, and then they have all these like shopping areas, and they have this little football field on the outside, and with the Dallas Cowboys logo in the middle. So
Hmm.
I had went there last year for my cousin's high school graduation,
Hmm.
and we took pictures out there and stuff, and it was these people that were walking by and whatnot, and my dad and all my uncles were out there taking pictures. I remember this man had walked by and he's like, "No, I'm not taking no pictures, man." He was just making like a big scene. He's like, "I'm not taking any pictures. I don't want any pictures." And we're all looking like, "Why?" He was like, he was like another fan of some other team. He's like, I'm another fan, man." We're like, okay. So it's like, why are you here? Don't be here if you don't want to be here. Like, leave. We don't need your trash talking. Like, bye. So yeah, Coach Prime was a big deal out here. So of course we're gonna have people that, talk big about the Cowboys. So I respect the Cowboys and I hope they make it to the Super Bowl. Yes, I said it. I said it.
Right in my face. That's all good though. Okay. Okay. You know what? Characters. Let me get into another character here before because I feel like I'm keeping you too long. I feel like I'm flirting with. I'm coming back to work late. Yeah. Shout out to my job.
Yeah, you got to go to work, sir. I'm sorry. I'm
No, you know, I got some time because I haven't spent it, so I'm gonna just use it because I got either I use it or lose it. So I'm
yeah.
fine. But no, I want to talk to you about characters of books. Any character from a book that you love,
Ooh,
or a
that's
character that you hate. What
that's
about one that you hate that you don't?
that I hate. Oh man, that's got to be the hardest question for me because I love books. I love reading. I'm like looking at some books in my room right now. I'm really into like nonfiction biographies. So I'm trying
Hmm.
to think of like fictional fictional
Okay.
characters.
Well, you can go if you want to talk about nonfiction. I do that too. So you can talk about somebody that that's maybe inspiring. That was somebody that because I want the audience to know that you can read. You don't have to read Harry Potter. You don't have to read. You can read other things that's going to help you mentally.
Right. So one of the nonfiction books that I just finished reading, and I actually have it. I'm gonna grab it real quick, real quick.
Okay.
And I need to return it to the library because I'm finished reading it. But it's called "Be Water, My Friend" by um, the Teachings of Bruce Lee by his daughter Shannon Lee. And
Oh
I say
wow.
Bruce Lee is a was a real person, so he wasn't a character or anything. But I think I would say he would be one of my favorite people. Well, maybe character because he was an actor as well. Um,
Okay.
but I love the teachings that are in here. Trying to find one like one of his quotes. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. So basically,
Mm.
like an empty vessel, like
Mm-hmm.
being open minded. That's where like that's where your life can really start to like things can start to shape and shift for you. Is when you start to allow yourself to just be like empty and not full. Like have an empty cup. Basically, there's a lot that you can do with an empty cup versus like a super full cup. If that makes sense. Um, Characters I don't like. I'm thinking of like more like movies. Maybe like Peter Pan was a book at some point, maybe. Like Captain Hook. Like any of those villains. I
Mm-hmm.
always try to think of like the backstory of those villains and like I think Peter Pan was the real story, but like Captain Hook, I'm like, he was really foul. The way he was doing
Yeah.
and stuff. Like they were
Captain Hook was dirty.
trying to throw him off the boat and off the ship. So I would say Captain Hook. Like
Okay. Okay.
that's a great
Okay.
no, thank you.
No, no, that's really good. You added a little bit more because I don't know so much about those books. Did read some books like that when I was younger. I
Mhm.
know I was into like the Hunger Games that were good.
Okay.
Also, all the John Grisham books that were good.
Mhm.
Have you heard of Jasmine Ward?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Look Jasmine Ward up. She's one of the best writers in the world. She got
Um,
a new book coming out here in a couple weeks.
Jasmine
It's
Ward.
Jasmine Ward. I want to get her on my show. That's
Jasmine.
one of my goals. Yeah, Jesmyn Ward. Salvage the bones. Where's? Uh-oh. See, I done knocked my
Good.
phone off.
You good?
Trying to find a book. Trying to find a book. Then knock my phone off. I
My
don't have it.
bad.
It's probably downstairs. But Jasmine Ward, she has a book called Salvage the Bones.
Jas-
And
Jasmine Ward, right?
yes,
Okay.
Jesmyn.
MYN.
hmm She won 2 National Book Awards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's got a new book getting ready to come out. And she's terrific. She writes from the first person perspective. And she wrote a book, Salvage the Bones, which I think was her first full book. I think she had a short story collection or something first, but it's about her family because she's from the Delta in New Orleans area,
Okay.
and them dealing with Hurricane Katrina. And it's about a story about how this family, which you could tell it was her and
Mm-hmm.
other people in it, how they had to deal with Hurricane Katrina. They were seeking out refuge in different places. Them getting the doors closed on them by people. They had to go. I don't want to ruin it,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
had to do certain things to survive. It was just, and then she got the dog, and she writes from the dog perspective. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah. That's awesome. And like if she has an audiobook, I'll check it out too because audiobooks to me are also like podcasts. Because I know you mentioned audiobooks earlier, and I listen to audiobooks as well, and they kind of remind me of a podcast, like Will Smith's audiobook version of his book called Will. I've been listening
Mhm.
to it, and it has different elements like music and stuff that you
Mhm.
wouldn't know had you just like read the book, you know.
Right. Okay, perfect, perfect. And yeah, I know she does. She's an excellent reader. You can look up on YouTube,
Okay.
and she reads, and it's wonderful.
I'll write it down.
Yeah, that's my that's one of my favorite authors in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right, do I need to go back to work? I guess I need to
Yeah, I think that's
go. No, this has been good. I appreciate you coming on here. I want to get you for a part two. Is that
absolutely.
possible?
Of course, of course, of course. And
Okay.
I want to get you on my show as well because I have a host to host series. You just got me thinking of like Shannon Lee, the author of this book. She also has a podcast, and with that series, I hope to talk to other podcast hosts and media personalities and just like pick their brains. So like she's one of them ones as well. But I would love to have you on. So thank you so much.
I will make that. I will definitely make that work.
Mhm.
I'm just interested in your channel, trying to, I got so many that I follow, I try to keep up with, but I pick one every day. I'm at
Okay.
work, doing my work, and I listen to, and I know you, Chris.
Yeah.
Shout out to Earn the Leisure. Shout out to, there's definitely other things that I listen to, but I just try to I try to keep my mind protected. So I do listen to a lot of motivational things for
Yeah.
men and women because we all need something that we need to protect this is the most important thing, our mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a lot going on in the world right now. Heavy things. So I'm also trying to protect my mind as well. 'Cause it's a lot out there.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do another part two. I'm down.
All right. All right. This was fun. I appreciate it so much. This here will be on my No Huddle Football News. It'll also be on my new channel, which will be the first guest on based off characters. And then I'm definitely going to shout out you at a later basis. And just hang on for a minute after I close this down. I want to send you a message. And again, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm about to do my outro. Okay. So thank you all for supporting the channel. Thank you for all the videos that I made. You clicking the like button. You got to hit the like button so you can go into the algorithm. I'm talking to all my people. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button because, again, that sends that message out and more people get to see it. Um, Shout out to all my supporters. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to my job for letting me go on this extended break. And shout out to you, Victoria. You a great guest. And definitely follow me, subscribe to the channel, No Huddle Football News.
Let's do it.
And based on characters on YouTube, both on YouTube, that will be coming out on Friday. And I'll be posting videos, content, and a lot more stuff. Probably need to do it behind the scenes how this is working. So you really But yeah, again, thank you so much. And I'm out until I speak to y'all again. Peace, everybody.
Peace. Thank you.